Welcome to Planting Up the Perfect Edible Flower Garden by Garden Republic. In your edible flower kit, you should have gotten the 4 soil discs that you're going to want to soak for about 2 to 5 minutes before using. Make sure you squeeze out the soil before planting them up. Now, each of the seeds are going to have a little bit different soaking schedule, so make sure you watch the rest of the film to know exactly how long to soak those seeds. Soaking them too long can actually ruin the seeds, turn them to muss, and they're not going to sprout. So that's very important. Now here I've got my little kit. I planted up less than a week ago. They started sprouting up like nobody's business. Now do take a look. I have grow lights going. Light is going to be very, very, very important, especially for the violas. They need like 12 hours of light a day, otherwise they won't sprout. I also have a bright window here. Now at night, I cover that window with a insulating foil to make sure that cold drafts don't come in. It's winter here in Arizona, so we've got a lot of cold drafts and snow. So always be mindful for that before planting up your kit and placing it somewhere. Now I'm going to walk through each of the seeds and how to plant them up. So sit back, relax, and get ready to plant. Now that I've got my planting flannel on, let's get going. First, we're going to start out with the pot marigold. Now the pot marigold, they're going to be special. Only soak 5 to 7 of those seeds at a time. Any more, and it's going to be a waste. You're not going to be able to save them in the fridge, and we just don't want to do that. Here you'll see the seeds are not your conventional looking seeds. They almost look like curled up fingernail clippings. Pretty nasty, I know. Now you're just going to gently pick one up, put it on top of the soil. If 2 stick together, that's fine. Pierce a hole, stick the seed in, and gently cover it back up with some soil, and then you're all set. Now, it's worth noting about the pot marigold is that they don't like to be exposed to sunlight until after they sprout. So if you plant them too shallow and it's kind of a bright area in the soil, they won't sprout. So that's a very important part of your planting process. Also, they don't like to be hot. They're one of the weird seeds that are just kind of like, too hot, no way, not going to sprout, see you later, bye. So if you experience, a lag in them sprouting, try to move them to a cooler location and ease up on the light. Now, like with my adjustable light, I could just move the little arm away and fix the problem that way. But if you don't have this sort of luxury, you could just take your little pot and put it in a darker area that's a little bit cooler, and you shouldn't have any problem. Now, planting up your cornflower is pretty simple too. They're small seeds, but you could do it. It's best to furrow little lines into the soil and plant them in a little row. Now, as you do this, make sure they're at a depth of about 1/2 of an inch. Anything shallower and they will sprout, wilt, and die, leaving you with spent seeds. Now make sure that you don't overwater them after you've planted and keep them in a cool location. It's worth noting about the cornflower that they really, really don't like to be soaking wet. They could rot pretty quick. So ease up on the water, maybe do 10 spritz of water a day, and then 1 thorough soaking of water a week, and that should be plenty. Now, Shasta Daisies are one of my absolute favorite flowers in the garden. They're just really easygoing, they're sunny, they're cheerful, and they do great when forced from seed indoors. Just make sure that you don't overcrowd them. Now, in the size of our little Garden Republic pot, you could sustain 2 plants. So even though you're soaking 5 to 7 of them, only allow 2 of those sprouts to mature into little plants with little flowers. You'll notice that these seeds are kind of small and delicate, so please make sure you do not soak them for more than 10 minutes. Anything more and they'll disintegrate. Make sure you only soak about 5 to 7 of those Shasta Daisy seeds and simply sprinkle them on top of the soil. These do not need to be buried as deeply as the other seeds. Once you've sprinkled them on top, just scrape a little bit of soil on top of them so that they're about 1/8 inch deep in the soil. Anything deeper and they're not going to sprout. Now that I think about it, one last thing. If your Shasta daisies have been in the soil for a month, and you've been looking at your watch, looking at the calendar saying, hey, it's been forever, it might be very likely that they have rotted in the soil. Now, Shasta daisies are kind of temperamental on the amount of soil water that they get. So if you have a lot of water in that soil, they could rot and they could become no good. So if after that amount of time you don't have any sprouts, just take some of those seeds out of the packet and plant them directly into the soil. Skip the soaking process altogether. Violas, the only flower that will smile at you as you pick them out of the ground. Seriously, they got really cute little faces. But in a more serious manner, just know that violas can be a little bit hard to get going from seed. They need 12 hours of light a day. That's a lot of light, especially if we're going into like autumn, winter seasons that we only get like 8 hours of light outside. So you may have to look into some supplemental light to get these going. And you would think that since they like so much light, they like a lot of heat as well, but that is not the case. They like to be nice and cool. And anything over like 65 and they just will not sprout. So keep in mind that they need a lot of light and they need to be quite cool when you plant them. And you should be seeing their smiley faces poke up from the soil. What you need to do is make sure you poke a couple little holes, make them nice and wide to be receptive of the little seeds. The little round seeds can roll around, so you want to make sure that they have a little place to nestle down into the soil. And then gently place them in respective locations, spaced equidistant apart, and then scrape the soil back on top of them. You don't want to be any more aggressive with the soil as necessary, and don't compress the soil whatsoever. A quick aftercare tip on the viola is that they do not like to be that wet after they sprout. They're very prone to getting mildews and like a rot in their soil. So make sure that once they come up and they're kind of established, you don't overwater them. Otherwise, you could get powdery mildew and mold and all kinds of stuff that you just don't want to deal with. So make sure you're kind of light on the watering, and otherwise, once they get going, they take care of themselves. I am so excited about this kit. I know we have a lot of kits out there, but this one is really cool. It combines everything that I love. I love eating, I love gardening, I love flowers, I love all of those things. And this kit just puts it all together in one cute little package. And like I said, I've got some going here, and they're just doing really well. I mean, you could see they're kind of leaning towards the light, but that's a me problem, not a plant problem. You're not going to be disappointed with this kit. I mean, it's just really, really a fun kit. And it's fun for everybody. You know, kids could plant this. It's great for somebody that doesn't necessarily have a green thumb. And even your favorite foodie would love being able to grow their own garnishes right from the comfort of their little kitchen garden in front of the window. So please, if you have any questions whatsoever, we're here to help you. That's what we're employed by Garden Republic for, is to answer your questions. You know, shoot a picture of what's going on, get us on the instant messenger, find us on Facebook. We love to chat and we love photos. So don't feel alone out there. We're here to help you with all of your gardening questions. So happy gardening, everybody. Take care and be well. Hey everybody, let's talk a